Our guest is Lori McLaughlin, and she is the local coordinator for the D-Day reenactment, which is, I didn't even look, August 16th, 17th. What?
Actually, we're adding Thursday this year.
Okay.
Noon to 5. So the 15th, 16th, and 17th of August. Yep.
Okay, it's coming up fast.
Very fast.
Now, for what I remember, is this whole thing started because somebody was looking for a cheap way to reenact D-Day, Omaha Beach, and this is the closest he found.
Yes, because he's actually from around this area, and he's no longer involved with our organization, but he is the starter of D-Day Ohio, or D-Day Conneaut, and he just was standing on the beach, and he looked at it on the bluff and said, "Wow, this is it." And people who have been to Normandy agree.
Huh?
Yeah.
It just took decades and decades and decades for somebody to come up with that.
Yes, exactly. Well, and I didn't even realize, I'm not part of the reenactment world, and I didn't even realize these reenactments were going on. I knew Civil War reenactments,
Yeah.
I knew, different kinds of reenactments. I didn't realize there were World War II reenactments, and that D-Day was obviously, the turning point. So this was a big pull for the reenactment world. And the fact that we have land, sea, and air.
Yes.
The water is a big draw because a lot of the reenactors, even though they go to other reenactments, they don't get a chance to ride on the watercraft that we bring. And this year, it looks like we'll have 7 different kinds of watercraft here.
Wow.
So, yeah. Very cool.
And of course,
Yeah.
people can ride on the watercraft as well.
Yes, at the public dock. And we brought it out over the 4th of July weekend.
Right. I was on it.
Yeah,
when you
yes,
saw
I
me.
saw that. I saw you. We do that for community service as a give back to the community for, dealing with D-Day. It's not always easy. Our traffic turns
Right.
into craziness here, and even the all our partners. The city, the schools, the library, the correctional facility, UH. There's a lot of people that, work the whole entire event and help out so much throughout the year. Over the 4th of July holiday, that might be their chance to get on the watercraft, and that's the only chance. During the event, we're all busy.
Right. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. It's going to get busier here.
Yeah.
You were talking a little bit off air about augmented reality, a program that
Yes.
you could take your iPad there, or they have iPads.
They'll have iPads there.
Explain about that.
Sure. The company is called Wargaming. They were here 2 years ago. They were set up in the upper pavilion, and they are a virtual reality online gaming company. And they have World of Tanks, World of Warplanes. I think there's a watercraft one. They will definitely have their World of Tanks here. And you literally take an iPad and turn around, and it's augmented reality. You're in the actual game. And you use the beach, Conneaut Beach, as the background in the game by using the iPad. I'm not even sure how this all actually works. I have seen them live online. It's very, very cool. And for gamers, this is a big deal. This
Yeah.
is like the next generation of gaming.
Well, I've heard of, like, you could go to sections of London and hold your phone or your iPad up and see what it looked like in the 13th century, the 14th century.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
that's cool. Yeah.
So
So this is it. This is it.
So this might be something to get kids that may not normally think about it to go down there. I mean, they should think about it anyway, but...
You're right. You're right. And Bob, it's kids of all ages.
Yeah, absolutely.
40 to 50-year-olds are on this virtual reality. It's just, when they did it 2 years ago, they were wearing these lanyards, and you knew who the gamers were that they invited, a special crowd that they're regular gamers. And they came to the event, and the really neat thing was they wouldn't have come they wouldn't have come otherwise. But they came because of the gaming. So the two components really worked well together. And it's World of Tanks. And you can see the tank, you can touch the tank, you can talk to the tank owners, you can discuss it with the reenactors, how things were back then. And then you can play the game.
That's pretty good combination.
Yes, the best of the worlds. Yes, absolutely.
So tell us some other things that are going to be going on that people may not know about.
Sure. So a lot of people forget about the museum. The museum will be open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's open now on the weekends, but during the event, it will be open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And that is super cool. We really changed a lot of things in the museum this year. Made it, the top area is much more handicap accessible. We lit up the displays. Downstairs, the home front kitchen is amazing. It's actually almost a home front home because there's so much to it now. There's a sewing area. There's a play area for kids with a pup tent, and they can play with their combat soldiers and things.
Yes.
And even over the 4th of July weekend, when we were given the boat rides and people had like an hour to wait for the boat ride, we sent them up to the museum
Yeah.
with the families, and they just loved it. It was just it's not like you have to spend the whole day there. But each time you see something different as usual with a museum. So that's really cool. That's going to be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We already know we have 75 World War II veterans signed up, and a lot of them wait to the last minute because they
Yeah.
don't know what their plans are going to be.
Or their health's going to be.
Or their health, correct. And some of them just show up, and we don't even know they're coming until they're there. 12 of those veterans are D-Day
Wow.
veterans. Yeah.
Considering that was 75 years ago.
Yes. And it's so amazing. That's what brings the tears to my eyes when I hear them speak and tell their stories.
What do they say about being there and seeing the recreation? I mean, it's got to be different, but
It is different. But they do get the reality part of it. Actually, a couple years ago, one of my World War II veterans had kind of a PTSD moment
boy.
where it was a little too close to reality for him. But it's actually, they take it as more like their day. If they served in the 101st Airborne, they're with those reenactors. Those reenactors are them, and they think of them as their whole. I mean, it's definitely a camaraderie. It's a group that never goes away. The Fifth Rangers, there's a lot of groups in the different branches of service that once you're once you're in that group, you're in it for life.
Right.
You really are. And they talk to the reenactors and tell them what their experiences were, so the reenactors can reenact it even more real. And it's just so exciting to see this, and it's so touching to hear. And what we really hear is like 3 and 4 generations of family come with Grandpa, and they listen to him.
And I bet they have some discussions.
Yes, and it's like family reunions, and they don't get to hear him talk that often about it. But he feels like he's in his
opening some
place.
dialogue.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's really cool.
There's also the gentleman who was a World War II veteran that gets up and at the end, like, has his gun out. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, he's been there for a few
Okay.
years, and I interviewed him once.
Okay.
And he got involved in the war after D-Day. So, he's talking about these guys are the heroes, and he's kind of acting like they're the older generation, but he's in his 90s himself, But at the end of the battle, he will, like, walk across with some cheers and with his gun in his hand.
That's sweet. See, that's I've got to tell you, as a COO, and
You don't see everything.
I don't see everything. Handling logistics and safety and security, I'm kind of all over the
bet.
park. Yeah. And as it starts to wind down at the end of the battle, I'm usually heading out to the gates and helping with getting the
Right.
people back out into the. Here's what happens. Everybody comes slowly throughout the day on the school buses, and it's really neat. It's really fun to see the crowds, come in, and when you see 50 people walking, a bus just unloaded.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, when the battle's over, boom, everybody
yeah.
wants to leave at once. And I always tell people, take your time.
Yeah.
Go back into the camps. The camps are still open. This is your
Right.
chance to go talk to the World War II veterans
Yes.
that are sitting in the Veterans Hospitality area.
Or, the German reenactors, if you didn't get there, the French
Yes.
resistance,
Yes.
the home front.
The British.
Yeah, the British.
Yes,
I tell
yes.
you, my grandkids, they love the machine guns. They love playing on the typewriters, and
Yeah.
they love monkeying with the rotary telephones. So you have to pick up the receiver in order to dial. Huh?
Huh? Yep, you're right. They never knew that. Right. They're trying to push button it. Right. Yes. It's we forget because I remember these things when I was growing up, but they don't. They have no clue what this is. So that's really cool. Yeah.
And so there's some battles beforehand.
Sure. So just to clarify, Thursday, noon to 5, that will be a day with no battles. That's a great day, especially to bring the smaller kids. There's nothing to be, there's no real loud noises, nothing to be afraid of. It's come and enjoy and really get a chance to touch the Jeep, talk to the reenactors, touch the tank, see the watercraft, do all
Hold
that.
the machine gun.
Hold the machine gun, exactly.
My grandkids love to hold the machine
Yes,
guns.
there's a lot of demonstrations going
Yeah.
on, and the reenactors are very open with their
Yes, they
equipment.
will.
Yeah, very nice, and they love the questions. Just bring the questions. They love the questions. Friday and Saturday are the days that have the skirmishes and/or battles, and there are 2 on Friday and 2 main ones on Saturday. We added on Friday a tank battle, and it's primarily tanks because we were able to get these tanks come up in the last, I think maybe 4 years ago that they first started coming, or 5 years ago, that a contingency of tanks came up, and they come up from the Orlando area, Orlando, Tampa area, and literally a convoy of tanks coming through the country, and people follow them on Facebook and say, "Are you coming to my town? So we want to see this convoy of tanks." It's pretty neat, and if you've ever seen the convoy actually come into Conneaut, it's just incredible to see. Yeah.
But you get a reputation. It's gotten a reputation, and now this is the destination for this sort of thing.
It is. It is. We have a very, very strong historical educational component, and we stress the historical part of it must be accurate. And we have rules and regulations that some reenactments don't. And we are
No
very,
Nikes on their feet.
Correct. No modern Coca-Cola bottles. They have to be old fashioned. Just things like that that where the visitor can see. You can hide things in the background, but in your cooler, whatever. But when the reenactment's going on, it's all historical, and it's actually really hard to get people not to use their phones, though. All the reenactors want to take pictures with their phones, and that was not historically accurate.
No, it's not.
But we have strong rules and regulations for their military vehicles, how they're going to ride in them. Back in World War II, 10 guys got it in a Jeep. That's not the way we can do it now. We have to follow the safety rules.
I noticed, and you took a picture of myself and my wife and grandkids.
Yes, in the Jeep.
No seatbelts.
No seatbelts. That's right. No doors. No
No.
roll bars. Yeah. Yeah.
And one thing you talk about those earlier battles that people don't know and they haven't been to them is that there is scenic. You have structures that are portable structures and stuff.
Yes.
That people shoot behind and
Right.
like farmhouses and things.
Yes.
That make it a little bit more authentic.
Yeah. We try to give the without looking like scenery from a play. Everything is real wood. It's made up, but it has to be built so that we can actually move it all the time,
Right.
and store it. So there's a lot of thought process that goes
Yeah.
into that. We have faux stone walls.
Yes.
That a lot of the battles take place behind. On the beach, we have the beach obstacles. They look like big jacks. Rommel's asparagus. Had the mines on top of them, Belgian gates, different things that really were used. Dragon's teeth, they call it. They were cement, and it's funny because we build these things and we put them on the beach because that's historically accurate, but some of those things were useless during the war. The tanks just rolled right over them. It didn't matter what the concrete was, but it was still there. So we wanted to show it. Obviously, we can't have everything there, but we have the bunkers. If you get a chance on Thursday to go into the bunker, that's really cool to see. How the stronghold was for the Germans. How we won that invasion was amazing.
So a lot of history there.
A lot of history.
15th, 16th, and 17th of August
Yes.
down at Township Park. There's
Yep.
parking all over town.
Yes.
It's a great event.
Yeah, thank
Lloyd
you.
McLaughlin, thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate.